Calaroga Shark Media.
Conan O'Brien addressed what's up with his hair. Hello from Poolside. I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. It is 71 degrees, sunny out. The humidity's 55. The dew point's like 53. One of the top 10 days you're going to get. So we are not sitting in a basement today when we can do this outside with the cicadas, the birds, the pool, the dogs, and the landscapers. You may recall people were wigged. Well, that's a bit of a pun. People were wigged that Conan O'Brien had slicked back hair. Conan addressed the situation. He told a long version of the story on his podcast. I started to pull the audio from it. It would just take too long to get to it. So let me just tell you what he said. He was invited to the opening of the Obama Museum. He realized the opening would be held outside, so he put some sunscreen on his face and went about his day. Conan explains. It's 3 hours plus, and when it's over, I'm so glad that I put the sunblock on, and I'm feeling really good about myself, like, smart move. He goes over to talk to some fellow guests who he called bright red, like Stephen Colbert and David Letterman. He said those gentlemen looked like they had been playing in a sandbox with plutonium. However, Conan says, a day or two later after the event, I feel like my skull is on fire, and then 2 days after that, my scalp is really itchy, and whenever I itch it, it looks like a snow globe. It looks like confetti, white freckled confetti's pouring off my head. It's disgusting. He was confused. He thought he was going crazy. Someone let him know he had a scalp sunburn. Conan said, I'm not used to that because I've got so much hair, but this sun just blasted right through my hair. It roasted my scalp, and someone said to treat this, you have to rub oil into it. So this morning, I rubbed oil into it, not thinking about the podcast when we went on camera, and then I come in and I look like I'm in Sha Na Na. I'm a grease ball. I'm so greasy, I'm Frankie Valli. We'll see if it goes back to the pompadour. We'll keep it at 12:30. Make 12:30 great again. Seth Meyers has been bashing the President of the United States. Now, the President and I don't agree on all the issues, but one of the issues we do agree on is making 12:30 great again. We need to get back to the days of Letterman and Conan, and yet Seth Meyers has a show for some reason, and Seth was mocking the Commander-in-Chief for staying on stage during the World Cup. The New York Post has brought this to my attention. Apparently, Seth took issue with a Truth Social post from the President of the United States in which the President praised Andrew Giuliani, who was the White House's point person for the tournament, and, coincidentally, the son of Rudy Giuliani. That doesn't mean Andrew wasn't the perfect person to run these things. He just happens to have a famous father. Anyway, I digress. Trump thanked the younger Giuliani for elevating the World Cup to a level that nobody thought was possible. Seth Meyers, who has a show at 12:30 for some reason, said, all right, calm down. It was already the biggest sporting event in the world. It's not like he sold 7 million pickleball tickets. Myers also made fun of Trump's comments during a pregame interview before the World Cup final. The president said Ronaldo has a much easier life and that he'd like to trade places with the soccer star for a month or so. Seth Meyers said, or longer. You ever watch Ronaldo, like, run full speed up and down a soccer pitch, and you're like, this guy doesn't work as hard as President Trump? Seth Meyers also suggests that President Trump is a sports reaper because when he attends games, the teams he's rooting for lose. I do like this joke, though. Seth said they're going to have to sage MetLife Stadium to get the hex out. Otherwise, the Jets might have a bad season. Love it. Jimmy Kimmel told Variety the ratings are very strong, which we are very grateful to CBS for their wisdom. We were doing pretty well before that, but that really helped. That, of course, is the ending of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which nobody talks about anymore except Jimmy Kimmel. Kimmel told Variety, he asked Colbert if he'd like to guest host the Kimmel Show. Colbert politely declined. Jimmy said, of course I asked him, and I think it feels premature, but I told him anytime you want to host it, it doesn't matter if it's the summer, I'll gladly step aside. Jimmy Kimmel was out promoting Celebrity Millionaire. I guess people watch this stuff. I'd rather watch civilians than celebrities. Some of the celebrities are Colin, Jost, and Michael Che. Kimmel said, I don't really know those guys. I learned that Michael is very decisive and Colin is not. And in a battle of the decisive and indecisive, the indecisive always wins. Colin was really weighing things out. In general, on Millionaire, whatever your first thought is probably the right answer unless you really have no idea. But people have a tendency to blurt out what they think is the answer, and then they take a long time talking themselves out of that correct answer, and usually they'll come back to the correct answer, but sometimes they talk themselves out of it. In an unrelated clip, Colin Jost explained how to pronounce his wife's name. I didn't know we didn't know how to pronounce it, but here's Colin Jost telling us the proper way to say Scarlett Johansson.
How do you pronounce your wife's last name? Is it Johansson or Johansson?
I don't know. I've never met her in person yet, but so I want to hear how she says it. Johansson. I mean, I certainly say Johansson. I mean, I don't say it really ever, but yo, Johansson. Why is the fridge empty? But it was originally, she's Danish. I think her family is kind of a mix, probably kind of went back and forth a little bit between Denmark and Sweden. So it was Johansson, probably originally. And I was probably Jost in Germany. But now that's all long forgotten. So we changed together. All ancestors coordinated and said, let's get them together.
Are you still friends with Michael G?
I didn't say you could have a second question.
Did you see the Howie Mandel impersonator on America's Got Talent? Yeah, a guy came out dressed as Howie Mandel. He called himself Howard Michelando. Simon Cowell asked, why? From the sidelines, Terry Crews said, this is disturbing. Before Howard Michelando could do his act, Mel B reached across the judge's table and hit all 4 red buzzers. The audience protested and pleaded with the panel to give a fake Howie Mandel a chance.
For lunch today, I couldn't decide if I wanted a pickle with my sandwich or not. I was like, dill or no dill?
He then did a second joke, which was, if I was on a farm, I'd be Cowie Mandel. Definitely time to hit the buzzer. Mel B said that was not good. She asked the audience, did anybody laugh? They went to the vote. All the judges said no. Fake Howie Mandel said, that's fair. Good night. Bob Marley caught on fire. Now, first of all, this is comedian Bob Marley. I've worked with Bob a little bit over the years. I remember one time he was trying to set the record for longest comedy set. I can't remember if he has the record now or if Chappelle does. I could look it up, but I'm too lazy. I think Marley does because we broadcast the whole thing live on satellite radio a million years ago. Anyway, he goes by comedian Bob Marley, so you don't think he's the reggae guy. And then in the computers, we always had to label it comedian Bob Marley. Otherwise, his stuff was really difficult to schedule. Because you'd want to schedule a comedy record, and you'd accidentally schedule I Shot the Sheriff, and you don't want to do that. Comedian Bob Marley caught on fire. He was forced to dive into the lake by his camp when his sweatpants caught on fire. John, we all heard you chuckle during the story. Do you think it's funny that Bob Marley caught on fire? Apparently you do. We heard the chuckle. Don't edit it out, you coward. What happened? Bob was making s'mores. He was cooking with Uncle Jimmy, and one of Uncle Jimmy's s'mores got overcooked. Bob Marley went to rescue his 79-year-old Uncle Jimmy's s'more from the fire, and the blaze jumped from the fire to the sweatpants. Uncle Jimmy said, Bobby, your leg's on fire. Bob Marley said, I know, Jimmy. Oh, see, this is why I love recording outside. I'm deliberately doing this for the randomness. Do you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that, but again, I'm in my backyard. No one's doing anything wrong. You're not supposed to record your podcast poolside, John. You're supposed to record it in a basement like losers do. Anyway, the neighbor is now having his generator served, so that's why you hear the generator noise. I'm leaving all this in. That is the beauty of poolside. This is why you work for yourself. I could be trapped in an office in New York City staring out the window going, it's 71 degrees out and sunny, and I'm trapped in this office, so we're going to put up with the generator guy. I digress. Before all that happened, you may recall Bob Marley was on fire. Uncle Jimmy said, Bobby, your leg's on fire. Marley said, I know, Jimmy. Bob Marley jumps in the lake and he explains, when I was in the water, I took off my sweatpants and my shirt and put them on the dock to dry, and then I got up on the dock standing there in my underwear. Then I see a pontoon boat coming toward me with 3 110-year-old ladies on it. One of them asked me, Bob, are you standing there in your underwear? And Marley said, yes, I am. Okay, I actually put a note in this week's show to remember to promote the weekly comedy thing. It was pointed out to me in the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast group, that I never remembered to promote it. What is this weekly comedy thing, John? Okay, there's an app. It is called LiveOne, where you can listen to music and the comedy stations. I program the comedy stations, so you can listen to comedy. The app is free. All this is free. You can just do this for free. And then on Sundays, I publish a show called The Weekly Comedy Thing, which kind of sort of overlaps with this show. Now, this is where I can do long-form versions of the stories. And on The Weekly Comedy Thing, I'm more of a jock, so I'm trying to keep the story super tight. But over there, I can actually play the comedy clip. So if I tell you, say, Mark Maron's going to be at a film festival, I can play Mark Maron after it. If you're into discovering new comedians, some of the newer comedians you'll hear this week on the show, Ali Hassan, Tom Stade, Kyle Gordon, and Whitmer Thomas. We've also got some Bob Marley in there. You know why? The story I just told you, except on that show, I tell the 20-second version of it. It is the final day of Just for Laughs Montreal. Wasn't much buzz this year. At 5 o'clock today, Mae Martin is recording a Netflix special. And again at 8:30, we'll keep the best take there. Only 2 other shows. Rafi Bastos is at Club Soda at 7. And Lucy Darling at 7. That's kind of it. I mean, I'm glad the festival's back, but Netflix has stolen their corner, as they say. The Montreal Gazette, they went to hit the Nasty Show during the festival. Comedian CP talked to the Gazette and said, "This is a very smart comedy crowd. As a comedian, that's one of the most important things, that your audience understands how to be an audience. It's funny. Some people are intimidated by the French, but then you come and they have a high palate for comedy. Also, they're not sensitive. They understand a lot of jokes derive from inappropriate places, and they love that." We are told CP's cartoon-like cadence echoes the early days of Eminem, with whom CP's uncle Trick Trick is a frequent collaborator. The essence of Slim Shady can be found throughout his high-energy, envelope-pushing storytelling, which covered everything from some dirty stuff I don't want to get into, and some more dirty stuff I don't want to get into, and then a third thing that's kind of dirty that involved the wildfires and the word squirting. You figured out. It is the Nasty Show, after all. John, what'd you think was going to happen? Ontario's Rebecca Reed came in and told some jokes about various private parts. Really good punchline here, but I can't set it up for you. Go to the Montreal Gazette to read it. Meanwhile, at the Culture Show, Dave Merhedge was your host. He told Cult MTL it's such a dope festival to perform at. He also called Montreal a savvy audience with good knowledge of stand-up, which allows comedians to be themselves. The Culture Show, formerly known as The Ethnic Show, and then was known as Just for the Culture. I didn't even realize they had switched this name. Just for the Culture was bad. The Culture Show is better. I still like The Ethnic Show the best. Come on, we all know what this is. Anyway, the concept is simple. 5 comics of different backgrounds come together for an evening of laughs. Dave Merhedge was your Lebanese comedian. Then we got Wise Cal Tara Canastracki, High Energy Keith Pedro, and the methodical and storytelling-driven Alfred Robles. And that is your comedy news on a summer Sunday. Pretty strong for a summer Sunday, and I will see you tomorrow.